What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew. Don't get it twisted, Lapiche, and this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. We appreciate you guys stopping by on this super toasty Wednesday afternoon slash evening. And we it's out over here in Las Vegas, and it makes you not want to step out. I have to close the blinds up in here, and even my room is a little toasty because I have my workstation. I work from home, and I have it here, and I have this friggin' selfie light all up on me. So I'm trying to stay cool. If I happen to look a little glossy, is because I'm working up a sweat here while I'm on camera. But we do this for you guys, so we always appreciate y'all stopping by on this Wednesday afternoon slash evening. Yes, it is official. We are within fight week. This is what we like to call the go home show before a major fight. Xander Zayas putting his unified super welterweight championship, or junior middleweight, which you prefer, 154-pound championship on the line against Jaron Boots Ennis. This is a fight that we've been talking about for a while, but of course we wanted to wait until the very last show before the actual fight so we can talk about our predictions. Of course, the fight odds, because I did swing by a casino last night, taking a look at some odds and see how things are going there. That's going to be essentially the primary topic of the show. We're going to get the show cracker like, and with that, of course, and seeing a lot of other people's predictions. It's kind of funny. I noticed that initially, right off the bat, everyone was picking Boots, and as time approaches, some people are changing their minds, minus one Timothy Bradley, because I saw his prediction. We're going to be talking about that because he's all down for Boots, but that's going to be the topic that's going to be kicking off the show. On top of that, on the Monday show, we talked about Teofimo Lopez's manager giving us a little teaser of some big news coming that's going to blow our minds and all this other crap, right? We're seeing some bits and pieces of what this announcement could potentially be, although we haven't actually heard it from Teofimo or his manager himself, but we are going to speculate because that looks like that's what's going to happen. That we're going to be talking about, of course, that specific fight announcement. That's what it looks like primarily. And to stick with the welterweight division, holy hell, we got a surprise. I don't want to go too much into detail in the opening. We're going to be talking about it a little bit later on, but Lewis Crocker versus Leon Paro took place last night. Well, I guess last night, over here at Pacific Standard Time, but the fight took place in Australia. We're going to be talking about the results on that one because, whoa, what a shocker. You wake up in the morning and things end up kind of weird in the welterweight division. So we're going to be talking about that, of course, whether or not you agree with the decision or not, but we'll be talking about that. Gervonta Tank Davis working with Jose Benavidez Sr. Okay, it looks like these guys have been behind the scenes a little bit, kind of working with one another to see how they vibe and everything, and it looks like they're going to continue this relationship, so much so that Benavidez Sr. might actually be his trainer in his next bout, his return to the ring, which appears to be the fall. So we're going to be talking about that, and I don't know how these guys are going to mesh, but we'll figure that out and throw in our 2 cents and see who potentially could be his opponent come this fall. The Matchroom Boxing Talent Agency train continues rolling and signs yet another UFC fighter. All right. Ian Machado Gary signs with Matchroom Talent Agency. And we're going to talk about the details of this because it goes into detail. And he's been asked about this recently because the news just popped, and he's already doing interviews, of course, asking like how this interferes with the UFC and whether or not it has anything to do with the beef between Dana and Eddie Hearn. So we're going to be talking about that, of course. Okay, those are the primary topics. As always, before we get cracking on the show, a quick word from our video sponsor, our channel sponsor, Health Y Sol, or Health Y Sol. Make sure to check them out. If you happen to find anything you might want to try out, make sure to use the code MADBoxing10 at checkout and get 10% off of your purchase, or follow the affiliate link that's going to be in the description of this video and get the same 10% off. I just restocked on a few soaps because sometimes I do go through them pretty quickly, and make sure to check them out. Lavender Patchouli in particular is the specific scent that I like. They do have a bunch of other ones, of course, but by all means, have yourself a ball, find something you might want to try and get 10% off, and it's a relatively inexpensive way to support the channel. In addition to liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing, we always appreciate you guys. As I said before, We are at 195 subscribers. 5 more to get to that magical 200. So by all means, guys, spread the word. We always appreciate it. All right. So it is upon us. I know that this is supposed to be or was kind of a consolation prize. We all wanted Jerron Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz Jr. Unfortunately, due to circumstances outside of Boots Ennis's control, it didn't turn out that way. Virgil has his issues that he needs to resolve with his promoter Oscar De La Hoya, and unfortunately, that took him out of the running. But who gets put in his place? Wow. Xander Zayas, 23-year-old unified 154-pound champ. He will be taking on Jerron Boots Ennis this Saturday at in Brooklyn, New York, at the Barclays Center. That is going to be on DAZN pay-per-view, or if you have that ultimate package. We're going to be talking about that momentarily because I saw that pay-per-view price. Holy hell. But if you guys haven't had the pleasure of checking out the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, it is a damn nice arena. I went there for a UFC event back in April of 2018. I went there for the weigh-in, and I went there for the fight itself. It is a sweet-ass arena. It's one of the newer ones. So I thought maybe, this fight was going to take place in MSG. I figured that's kind of where they would want to take the Xander Zayas and maybe have the next potential Miguel Cotto out there. But they're going to go with Barclays Center. Pretty dope-ass arena. That will get crack-a-lackin' this Saturday, 3:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Saturday, live on DAZN. Okay, so we're going to get started with this prediction. Now, I've watched a few people's fights, or fight predictions. I'm hearing a little bit of a back and forth, different from when the fight was first announced. It seemed like everybody immediately was saying that Xander's was just far too green. This is quite the step up in weight, even though not weight, but competition, I meant to say, even though he's naturally the bigger guy. We're going to go over the odds, of course, but before I go into my prediction, Andrew, I'm going to bring you into the show here. We are officially within a few days from this fight. Tomorrow is the final press conference. Friday is the weigh-in. Saturday is showtime. So please sound off. How do you see this fight going? And whether or not these odds are going to change your mind.
Well, yeah, the odds definitely might change my mind a little. Matters what the opening line is. I don't, because the fans don't dictate anything, but that's where the money's going. That's the popular guy, in my opinion.
Well, the fans are the ones that put the money down.
Exactly. The opening line is who AI is saying is going to win.
Okay.
Because I don't even know. Did they put in the AI to do the whole if one guy makes you more money, make him the favorite? You know how they mess with the odds a little and throw people off because they know early that will get more money put on them. But then as the fight gets closer, you'll start seeing them come closer and maybe even go the other way. And the fans are like, what? But who knows? Look, I'm excited about the fight. They're both undefeated. They're both in their prime. It's been a while since we had something like this. I think you're seeing a lot of people changing their minds on this fight because as you dig deeper, one, you see that both men lack opposition, right? Very light paths to being a champion. The names on their resumes are not the greatest names, and both of them had off nights. There's both nights where DAZN is talking about DAZN and then Top Rank is both talking about. I think Zayas, they're real heavy on he's growing up tonight. And then on Ennis, he was just getting caught a lot with the left hand, a left hook to be exact. I'd have to look up what fight that was, but when you start looking at everything, it's very hard to be like, oh, I'm so confident that this guy's going to win. How? What fight are you pointing at that separates these two extremely? It's not the height. It's not the reach, right? It's not the pedigree of opponents. I think they're both in the B- range, easy. When I look at who's a better boxer, I lean towards Zayas. When I lean to who's better naturally gifted in speed and reaction and possibly defense, I lean towards Ennis, especially on the speed and the offense, right? That's kind of what Ennis is. That's why he keeps his hands down. Is it the keeping his hands down that's going to lose him this fight? Because Zayas is one technical fucking fighter. I really like that about him. Look, I was leaning towards Zayas early on. Yes, all the talk about he's too young is sort of alarming, but dude, this is Top Rank, bro. And they've been picking winners for a long time, you guys. And I've been real heavy on this whole Top Rank versus the zone, Top Rank versus anybody.
Versus the world, really.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Look at Oscar's resume. Oscar can get you there, but very rarely does his fighters get over the hump.
Yeah, they don't win the big one. He'll get them there, but they don't end up winning the big one.
Top Rank has a lot of legends. They have guys that have been there and get over and stay there and break off to make their own companies and be very successful.
Right.
That's all Top Rank. So he has two big things on his side. When you're looking at a bunch of unknown, that's how I see this fight, Miguel. Because I'm going to see one guy's going to come in naturally gifted. The other guy's going to come in with all skill, technical skill, man. And who usually wins that fight is the technical skilled guy. The guy with his hands up, the guy that's throwing the perfect shots, that knows how to counter. He knows how to hit you with that left hook, and you're keeping your hands down. You can't get out of the way. I want to say it was, I got to look up his name. I don't want to get it wrong.
Are you going to be able to pronounce his name? Because he's had a lot of foreign guys in his record. I was thinking about that actually when you're talking about these guys being in their prime. It's almost like I'm not sure if Zayas is there yet. I mean, he's on the way there, right? But 23 years old, it seems like he hasn't exactly matured yet to that point. Ennis is 28 years old, so I mean, he's had more experience, I guess, more life experience, right? I mean, closer to his physical prime. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people were surprised this fight is even taking place, because they were almost throwing the poor, lamb to the slaughter with Zayas, too much too soon, kind of sort of thing. And even Eddie Hearn was like, "I'm surprised that they even fucking let him fight this," but Top Rank said, "Fuck it, let's do it."
I think that was Eddie trying to play mind games, though. When I see that clip, it looks like that was Eddie trying to play mind games with the young man. I don't know if that's going to break Zayas. Zayas is a 2-time world champion. He's already faced, and I don't think they're sitting in their bed at night before their first title shot going, "Oh, this is going to be a cakewalk." They have all the butterflies that you would think a guy has going into a fight. He's done it twice. He's won both fights. He's undefeated. He was scouted by Top Rank as a child, basically. Very young man, and has achieved every goal they wanted him to achieve. So he has that mindset. He knows how to prepare. You know what I'm saying? You don't become the youngest, unified champ, I think it was, something like that, without being legit. I forget what Zayas was, but he named it. Zayas, in one of his interviews, is throwing all the records he's broken as a young champion. They know how to pick him. I like his style. It's all about because Boots really isn't even an American boxer style. He's all naturally gifted, right? Like you never heard me say American boxing is Roy Jones Jr., right? But I call Roy the greatest of all time that I've ever seen, right? And that's over Chavez. I'm just talking naturally gifted. Yeah. I've never seen anything like it. The 5 left hooks in a row, the way his distance, his master of distance, you know what I'm saying? Get in, get out. What he did to Tony made him look foolish in the ring. Nobody had done that to James Toney. James Toney was a defensive master before that Roy Jones fight. So it's not that Ennis is bringing that American style, but he's naturally gifted. We're going to see, look, he's the guy that, pop shots, comes from different angles, uses his speed. That can all, dude, Prince Nassid did that until he met who? That one badass technical fighter, huh?
Yeah.
That guy that knew how to throw that jab, right hand, left hook, the jab, left hook, put you in a, set you up to move you in the way of throwing the punch, and you got your hands down. So, haha, good luck with that, buddy. You know, and if you miss one, they usually bring a combo. So, can you dodge 3? There's only been so many fighters that have done it, and even Floyd wasn't undefeated, guys. He had losses. So he had bad nights that I would love to watch with any Floyd fan. When he tells me, no, he beat Castillo, pop it in. Pop it in. Let's see it. Give me the 7 rounds, buddy.
In fact, I'll pop it in. I have it in my fucking collection right now. Let me go pick it out. I have it exactly right there.
It's downloaded on my phone. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah. For this exact conversation, every single time. Give me a second while it loads.
Not Whitaker Chavez, not Hoya Trinidad. All right, here we go.
Right.
Here we go. I got some fights that are just in the fucking chamber, you guys. Fuck that. We watch it right now. Oscar Trinidad has gotten closer, I will say. I'm like, okay. But no, I still have Oscar winning, but there are some rounds that I'm like, okay, Trinidad was doing a little bit more than I gave him credit for when I was, fucking 19 or whatever, and that fight went off.
Swing rounds that could have gone either way.
Yeah. But the last 3, Oscar still does more to him than Floyd did almost in any of his last 3 rounds, and they all called him a mastermind. You know what I'm saying? Those last 3 rounds, like Oscar beating the fuck out of him in the 12th round, like just with the jab, bro. He's peppering them. Yes, he's backpedaling. Yes, he's moving, but he's peppering them. Don't get me off subject. Back to boots. It's a hard call, dude, because I don't know their chins, right? I don't know their heart. But I'm gonna go off of what I've always went off of, and that's the pedigree and who's found them. And I'm gonna say Zayas is gonna pull through this fight. I'm gonna go 12-round decision. Fuck, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go 12-round. I don't know enough, dude. I don't know enough.
Split or unanimous? What are you thinking?
It's gonna be split because it's on DAZN, but everyone will say there is no doubt about it. And I think the reason why is because Boots has fought in too many B opposition and gotten away with being. I don't even know if he's naturally gifted. I know you are against B-level fighters. Today you might be facing the future A-lister. Let's see how those hands down work for you this time. I've seen European guys crack you. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, no, very good point. That's one of the things that he kind of gets criticized a lot of. Ennis is fighting at the level of his opposition. They go against guys, or they put him up against guys who it looks like he should be able to just fucking smoke, and it looks more competitive than it should be. I've seen that a few times in his welterweight run. If you hear Timothy Bradley talk about it, he believes it could be a massacre.
Yeah, I know.
He's like, boy, Ennis is a dog. He's a dog. And I was just like, yo, relax. He's trying to make it seem like he's Crawford or something, right? and he's like, Xander's he's so slow. Now, mind you, he's a top rank guy. I'm talking about Xander. And so was Timothy Bradley for the time that he was on the ESPN show. He was a top rank guy, essentially. So maybe he just couldn't talk about that back then because you don't want to make it look like the guy that you're trying to bring up isn't as talented as maybe they personally think he is. But he swears. If you hear his prediction, it's on right now. It's like eight minutes or so. But basically, he thinks it's going to be so one-sided because we're going to get to see the real talent, the real skill of Ennis and put it on full display. One thing that I'm hearing a lot of is because of the importance of this fight in the 154-pound weight class and the kind of hype that's behind Zayas as the next potential Puerto Rican star, that both these guys should deserve the accolades for beating each other. We don't want to hear afterwards. After, let's say, Jerron beats Zayas, Zayas was too young. Like, no, none of that shit. Or the other way around, Zayas like, he's, Boots really wasn't what we thought it was. Maybe he wasn't, too small coming up to 154 or whatever the fuck, right? The excuses. These guys, whoever wins, should get the credit 100% for the victory. Take a look at some of these odds we got here. Now, this again, I don't know who picks these damn odds. Maybe it's Timothy Bradley himself, for crying out loud. But the money line, the straight money line, we're looking at Jaron Ennis at -500. Wow. -500 for Jaron Ennis, straight the money line, right? Xander Zayas +333. Damn. They're really, I don't know if they're just paying attention to the age or something, but boy, they don't seem to be giving Zayas much of a chance here.
Is that straight up odds?
Yeah, just a straight money line, like not
straight
the prop
money
ones,
line.
Yeah, because I got the props ones as well too.
All right.
But right off the bat, right, it's looking like he's a heavy favorite, and even me and my pops were going back and forth. We're like, "Damn, is it that bad?" Like, my dad is kind of like, I don't know. I think Jaron might actually take it. I'm like, Dad, I don't know. Zayas is no fucking joke, right? And we're going back and forth. But taking a look at these prop bets, Jaron Ennis by KO, TKO, or DQ at -110. All right. Drawn on points +188. All right.
+188.
Yeah.
And they have the knockout at -110. Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah. Right. The knockout or DQ. And then Zayas by KO or TKO or DQ +1100. They don't think he'll be able to stop Ennis there. Zayas on points +550. And of course, a draw at +1600. Man, where's the respect for Zayas here? Man, they're really like I don't know what I assume they're basing it off of the punches that he takes. If you listen to them going back and forth, bicker one another when they were on the press conference, Jaron was like, dude, look at his face after the fights. Look at my face. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. Like, you see he gets hit and I'm going to fucking tag him. Zayas, to his credit, says, I'll try. I mean, try. You'll try to tag me, fool. Go ahead. I'll give you that. I don't think Zayas is the kind of boxer who would stand in front of Ennis long enough for him to throw all these combinations that he's thinking he's going to crack him with. It doesn't look or doesn't sound like Ennis thinks he's going to catch him with one punch per se, but rather he's going to basically fucking school him. I don't know. We have only seen one fight of Ennis at 154 pounds. He took the guy out really easily. Obviously, it was more of a tune-up than anything, but definitely not a very good indication of how he'll go 12 rounds at 154 pounds, because I don't think these guys are going to knock each other out. However, I do think that Zayas will be able to pull this upset off. I don't see I can't see Ennis landing the same kind of punches that he's landed at 147 pounds and be able to take the punches the same. He's been tagged a lot. Granted, his face doesn't show, gets marked up, but he gets hit. How is he going to take the hit of a 154-pound, a legitimate 154-pound guy? Not saying that Zayas is some sort of knockout puncher himself or anything, but he still naturally is the bigger dude, and it's still a heavier punch. We kind of talked about this with Bam Rodriguez. You don't want to be getting hit when you're going to go up in weight class. This is going to be the real test. Him being able to withstand the punch of a 154-pounder. Now, I have to assume this is going to be a closer decision, right? Like we said, it's probably going to be a split. I think it being in New York, maybe Zayas is going to come away with the victory on that one, and another top rank tally for the win. Now, you mentioned it? Most likely split, right? I do think I agree with you. I think Zayas will take it. We have to, as always, I like to take a look at something else that we kind of tend to forget to look at because we kind of get in our bubble sometimes. We get the blinders on and we're focusing on the fight. Who benefits from whom winning? And that's kind of what I'm trying to say. If Jaron wins and he moves on to face either Ortiz or Fundora, will that make the same kind of money that Puerto Rican Xander, if he wins fighting somebody like Fundora or Ortiz, could that sway the judges to any degree?
No, not really, because I don't think Top Rank has a grip on boxing as it once did. I think all of Bob Arum's connections have now faded away, and Bob's kind of the last one hanging around still. If you see, Vegas has totally changed around Bob. You know what I mean? Did he ever open Top Rank's gym back up, or is that still a no goner?
Damn, I don't know.
Because they shut the gym down.
Do you remember when?
It was a few years ago. It was definitely probably when Floyd, I think, maybe bailed around that time, at least, because he really didn't have any stars anymore. I think Pacquiao was already doing his own thing at his gym, wild card gym all the time, and not being in Vegas. And Bob kept it maybe as a only when big fighters were in town he would open it. But then even that disappeared. I'm just wondering if he ever opened up Top Rank Gym again, or is that no longer?
I want to say, so I remember being invited to a Teofimo workout. This was relatively recent. So
Good.
I want to say 2020, 23. I want to say, so it was pretty recent. Maybe 22. I might be getting the years wrong, but around there. So and even then, it wasn't that full. It was still there. Everything was still cracking. Not a lot of people, but it was one of Teofimo fights here. So Teofimo, of course, is a top ranked dude. So I guess that is considered
Good.
a big fight, right? So since then, I don't know, because I haven't gone back to it. But since then, I don't know.
All right. Well, that's good that they have it possibly open, but I think my answer stays the same about I don't think there's a power move here. I think DAZN wants the best man to win because both of them have avenues. They're young, they're undefeated, they're both unified champs already, right? So this is huge. This would be Boots' second time accomplishing this, and if Zayas wins, he becomes the face of Puerto Rican boxing in a way. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think there is a loser on that side for DAZN. This is the power of DAZN having everybody under their umbrella now. They in a way turned into they're like a very what is it called? They're not HBO, but they're right there. You know what I'm saying? They got everyone under their umbrella, even though I know Netflix in Turkey can snag anyone at any time. There's still, this is one of the positives of having Top Rank and DAZN under, or Matchroom under the same umbrellas, is you don't lose in that. It's a double end deal. So with that being said, I think the guy that profits more, damn, I don't know, man. I'm going to go with Boots because America, I think, is bigger in boxing right now. I don't know where Puerto Rico is in boxing. I don't know where Latin America is in boxing. I haven't seen these guys represent boxing in a while. So we're gonna find out this weekend. We're gonna find out there, and where is it? You said Brooklyn?
Yeah.
How many of them show up for Zayas?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's New York, so it's kind of Puerto Rico.
Yeah, exactly, bro. They should be there strong. We've seen what Trinidad and Cotto always did, right? So yeah, excellent fight. A lot of unknown. Look, I'm going to tell you, the more I think about it, though, the young man's hands are always up. He's constantly got his hands up. He stays behind a jab. I'm talking about Zayas here. He has a lot of positives going in. That really hit a nerve with me when I said the dude's gotten away with a lot of low budget ass fights, man. Seriously. This might all come bite you in the ass. Remember they say how you spar is how you fight?
Yeah.
A lot of his matches have been sparring.
And let's not forget, he came from PBC. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like that's it. He did eventually cross over to Matchroom and was matched the way he was and became the unified welterweight champ. But he was with PBC for a minute, and you know how they
let
roll,
him go.
Right? Yeah. And you know how they roll, right? And this, even though Ennis is a Matchroom guy now, this is kind of a PBC and Top Rank type of fight. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's where he came out of, I guess. Maybe.
And who dominated that one?
Exactly. That's precisely where I was heading at. That's exactly where I was getting at. Who's got the more tallies on their side? Top Rank. That's precisely what I was thinking.
And I think we've even brought that up when it first happened on why did PBC let go of Ennis? 35-0 from Brooklyn. No, from Philadelphia,
Philadelphia, yeah.
from Rocky, from Bernard. We don't want a piece of that.
Yeah. The
What?
market's already there.
What was the reason? That I thought it was heart. I think we kind of we're leaning towards maybe Al Heyman didn't like all the I need a warm-up match. I don't want to take that fight, but can I get a warm-up fight at the next division? You know, maybe that's what Al's seen. And
I don't know, and you would think he was a welterweight, and for a long time PBC monopolized the welterweight division. Why wouldn't they keep him? You know, even if he does move up to 154, even still, the majority at the time, at least with the Spence and I guess Spence is moving up to 154 now, but Sue and Charlo, it's not like he didn't have opposition. He had guys that can fight there that can make him a star, and boom, they can sort of lay claim to one of our guys again, a homegrown talent.
I'm sure we're going to hear many stories if he loses this fight.
What do you mean, stories of what?
From ex-PBC guys being like, oh yeah, we used to whoop his ass in sparring. Al already knew that. I knocked him out. Charlo knocked him out, right? Might be something like that. When we nut stuff we don't know. I find it weird he was released. I find it double weird when you hit it right on the head. He owned the fucking division. He literally had the generation above him sewed up. He could have had Boots. He could have put Boots on the board and said, you're the talent. I'm going to have you fight all of them.
Yeah.
Fuck Terrence Crawford. We'll get Terrence Crawford later.
Yeah.
He's not getting Porter. You're getting Porter. He's not getting Spence. You're getting Spence. You're my guy. You're absolutely right. Why did that conversation not happen, or what happened when it did? You're absolutely right on that, man. We're going to learn on Saturday.
Yeah.
We're going to learn on Saturday. He's wiggly again.
Yeah, and then like a little tweet pop up on the screen from Charlo, like I told you, or something.
Pick your hands up, fuck.
Like this ain't the welterweights, motherfucker. Shit.
What about the slow motion thing? What about the slow motion? Did you remember that one?
No, the slow motion.
Yeah, he was beating up some dude. I forget the guy's name. He's beating him up so bad, he starts doing this slow motion, like, and then going, pow, and then he does slow motion, pow. And the guy was so beat up that he was allowing him to do that in front of him, like a robot, and then boom, he would hit him with a fast shot. Do you think that's going to get away with Saturday? I would love to see the slow-mo punching come back from Ennis. If he does, hey, I'll stick to my word and come on here and say I'm a dumbass, but I don't know if he gets away with that on Saturday, right? There's nothing gifted about that. Mm-hmm. You're just bullying someone that you were way better than.
Right. And
we will see.
And when I hear Timothy Bradley say, like he's a dog, like I don't see it. Sorry, I just don't see it. I'm not saying that he's not good, but when I think dog, I think Terrence Crawford. Yeah, what Max Kellerman says, like, damn, he fucking looks mean. He goes in there and he like has this mean streak and he will fuck you up. I don't see that from Ennis for me to be like, damn, yeah, this guy's gonna come in here to licking his chops, ready to fucking feast on Zayas. I don't see it that way. I think that it's a product. It's a PBC product kind of thing for Ennis as I see it.
The awkward punches are going to be very hard to land. His unorthodox approach is going to be very hard to land if freaking Zayas sticks to his guns. Hands up and stay on that jab. Stay every time he jumps in, bam, you're going to hit him with the jab. Bring your hand right back, right? If he stays on that heavy, dude, I'm telling you, don't be. I keep saying Nassim versus Barrera, and there's reasons. He was very unorthodox, Nassim was, but very, very powerful, right? So he didn't need to really throw combos. He hit you with the one shot. Yet when Barrera hit him with those jabs and combinations, that one shot never landed. Then it broke his confidence because he wasn't getting off. All of a sudden at the end, I was having an off night. Yeah, I bet you it was. It's called a jab, motherfucker. That was your off night. You know what I'm saying? Zayas possesses.
You know who gave you the off night? Burr gave you the off night. He's the one that gave you the night off, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Zayas possesses those kind of traits in him. Very stays at home, keeps his hands high, right? Knows how to throw crisp combinations. Yeah, dude. No, don't know, you guys. I'm actually going the opposite way, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but don't be surprised if it's a very off night for a guy who was outclassing most of his opposition his whole career. He's 28 now.
Mm-hmm.
Zayas is 23 and has done just as much.
Yeah. That's and he puts himself. With Zayas in his current position with 2 belts, a win over Ennis. Damn, the world is his oyster. You know, he can fucking call the shots. You know, I would say he would be considered the number 154 pounder. We are going to have in a few weeks, sometime in July, the original number 1 dude, Charlo, on the undercard of Spence and Zoo. But do you think that's in the cards at all? Like, I know that Charlo kind of is has implied that he's going to be fighting the winner of Spence and Zoo, but if that doesn't happen, or maybe it does happen, I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure if that fight will proceed. But how does that sound? How does a Xander and Charlo fight sound? That sounds pretty fucking killer, no?
Zayas is golden if he wins this fight on Saturday with Puerto Rican boxing. In my opinion, I think you're going to see Top Rank take him back to Puerto Rico, and he's going to feel. He did a tremendous crowd, over 10,000 his first time. He's probably going to pack the house, sell out on his return, and that's the beginning of Zayas. You put him in with anyone, and it's going to sell. And we need a fighter like that. It's been a while. Now I got to tell him again: get rid of your fucking blonde hair. It's time to grow up. You're supposed to be the man of the fucking, the island now. It's time to play that role. So, yeah, I don't like the blonde hair thing. I'm going to stay behind that one. But, yeah, dude, no, I think anything he touches if he wins on Saturday, anything he touches is golden. Charlo's a great fight. Miguel, I wanted to tell you, if I was Ennis, I would have been a lot more open about the PBC guys I sparred in my career. His sparring partners might be better than his resume. What happened in those wars, right? The Sean Porters and the Spences. Those are some big. I know, Porter could get in the ring with him. I don't give a shit if he was 147 or not. Porter would have gotten in the ring and sparred, And just because he was PBC and they all used to be so close, it's kind of strange that we don't have more footage or videos of what was going on. Why Ennis was odd man out at the very end. And I'm telling you, you guys, it is not because Al Heyman was like, you're the best. You got to go.
Yeah.
Don't you dare touch my boys.
Like, you are so good that I don't want you beating any of my guys. So
don't worry, I called Eddie.
Yeah, I got a deal already on the table for you, buddy. Just go ahead and hit him up, and he's ready for you.
We're going to find out on Saturday.
Yes.
There's something hidden there, dude. And watch, I'm going to be hella mad if them dudes start dropping stories after. Javante Davis knocked him out and be like, man, fuck you guys, man. You guys played us for like 3 years telling us this guy was the ghost. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was the black dark horse of the divisions. Now, all of a sudden, Javante knocked him out. You knocked him out. Al hated him because he didn't want to fight anyone.
Right. Because he had wanted too many tune-up fights before the big one. I want to bring something up that I was kind of like a little surprised about. Now, while I get my damn camera here to start fucking rolling, we may or may not have forgotten, right? Because sometimes that it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. Emiliano Vargas is going to be the co-main event on this one. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is he's on the card, right? The Top Rank. Ben Whitaker, a matchroom dude, right? The guy they're trying to, make the next hot shit light heavyweight. He's on the card as well. The reason I'm bringing these guys up is I took a look at the pay-per-view price. If you don't have the whatever ultimate package or whatever that that DAZN offers, the $500 some odd fucking dollars, as his damn camera continues to roll. But this pay-per-view, Andrew, is $75. Holy hell. When I see this price and I see this kind of card, I immediately think PBC. This is kind of a PBC thing. They'll put everything on pay-per-view, but and charge that amount. Is this card worth $75 fucking dollars? I mean, it's a great fight. I'm not gonna say it's not, right. It's gonna be solid. The undercard it's got names, not necessarily against other top names, but $75.
No, because in old boxing, no Puerto Rican gave a damn about an up and coming Mexican. So it's not like my grandpa would have been like, "Oh shit, I have to buy this fight because that young Puerto Rican kid is going to be on the card." Just saying, that's how it used to be, right? I don't know, or if that's changed, but the driving force behind this fight is going to be predominantly Puerto Ricans in Latin America. So I don't think they give a damn about Emiliano Vargas. Now, maybe there is some Mexicans out there that'll his family, some family and friends will throw $75 to watch him. There ain't gonna be too much else. Nah, dude, the pay-per-view model is kind of dead, bro. I think we all know that. You know, these guys are doing lifelines with this shit. I don't really know how they're benefiting from the pay-per-views because the numbers are so low. You know, where are they making their money at to continue to do this? I have no idea. Unless those contracts have a bunch of ifs and maybes, right? If we sell this much, you might make this. Maybe that's the only way Al Heyman's getting away with it. You already seen Sean O'Malley come out and say that he doesn't like the pay that he had for 250. I'm just saying, you know, I'm just saying that might be how all of Al Heyman pay-per-view contracts are. If you don't, you know, on paper, yeah, go tell them you're going to make 32 million. But if you don't sell 800 grand, I give you 900,000 or 500,000. You know what I'm saying? It's a way big difference. So, and that, Miguel, how else could they make money? How can you give David Benavidez $8 million and the pay-per-view only made $8 million? You can't do it, bro. There's like, no, that's all lies. And we heard Awali, what's his name? Awani.
Oh, Helwani. Yeah. Ariel Helwani.
Ariel Helwani. We heard him say that. He said that hella times. He was like Steve Kim one day with the whole, they're all fake. The contracts are fake. So obviously they're bullshitting on them contracts, and that's why Al Heyman's able to put it still on pay-per-view. I would purchase it. You can't say you're a boxing fan and avoid a big fight like this because of $75. We waste $75 on way more stuff nowadays. So I would purchase it. I wouldn't be happy about it, you know. Just like I wouldn't be happy if I had to be forced to buy that fucking DAZN package either, because I think that's a kind. It just you're strong arming us, you know. You're not giving us the fights that we want. You know, some of your pay-per-views are whack as shit.
I was just about to say that. Like they try to come at us with this great deal of a minimum of 12 pay-per-views a year. Holy fuck. But then you watch it and you watch the kind of fights, these misfit pay-per-views, or they call them, right, the boxing, these influencer boxing, like this is what we're seeing, you know, like this is a pay-per-view. Sorry, you know, Wardley versus Dubois. Yo, that's not over here in at least in America. That's not pay-per-view, guys. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they toss it in there as a filler, and I'm paying, you know, ahead of time $500 some odd dollars. I mean, figuratively speaking, because I'm not. But point is, like, they really try to juice it up by or sell it to you, you know, by and letting you know there's all these pay-per-views, and it's like, no, these are not the kind of pay-per-views I want to be paying for. I would much rather pay it individually and be fine with forking up $75 for a pay-per-view like this, if, you know, I am inclined to do so, than to pay the 500 and some odd dollars and, you know, have a whole bunch of extra shit that I am not paying for. Because at the end of the day, you know, maybe it comes out even anyway. Maybe it ends up being the same amount. But
did you see Fernando Jr.'s interview about his dad being broke when they were young?
Oh yes. How would that only last until he was like 8 years old or some shit?
Yeah. And then he was like, dude, it was like the worst ever, bro. This guy goes, you guys don't know, we were broke. We didn't have any money. When I was in jail, my little brother had to sell, and it was like, oh shit, he's about to say drugs. He goes, he's about to sell. He had to sell chocolates. What the fuck did he just say? Oh, this is terrible. He did no help to get street cred for his family. Vargas' name went down this week when he said that. Hey, someone commented, all little kids sold chocolates. I started dying, bro. Fucking dying. They're absolutely right, too. All kids sold chocolates. Fernando. What are
It's
you
like
talking
we were
about?
so broke. My little brother had to be selling shoe cleaner at the mall, at the kiosk. You know those guys that stop you while you're walking at the mall? It's like, hey, let me clean your shoes. That's what he was doing, guys. Oh boy, didn't
His
exactly
dad
do
was
it.
like, "Oh my god."
Yeah,
His dad put in way too much work to have his boys tear through his name like that.
right. And how can that be? I mean, like I remember Fernando. I mean, I'm not making the same kind of money, but fight still his last fights with Mosley and even with Mayorga. I have to assume he made some fucking killer money there, right? Like, and the boys were already in their teens at that point. I think. Am I miscalculating their ages? Because I don't think they were that young when the money stopped rolling in from their pops.
Yeah, no, not only that, he was a millionaire. Fernando Vargas was not only making millions of dollars in boxing, he had investments outside of boxing in little Oxnard that was making big money because Oxnard all loved Fernando at one point. He said what happened to him. He told all of us in an interview, fucking they hated his name after he started losing. Like when he lost it, he told everyone, he said, don't ever put your last name in any of your businesses. He's all, my businesses were Vargas Estates, Vargas Pizza, everything was Vargas. And as soon as he lost to De La Hoya, I guess everyone started hating on him. So then they didn't go to his real estate company, they didn't go to his pizza thing.
Damn.
Yeah. And it might have been a little bit of his own connections to crime and this stuff. Let's not throw all the blame on the Oscar beatdown, even though that was a pretty bad one for him. He had put in a lot into that fight. Now you remember he gets caught on steroids, then he gets knocked out. It's just after saying I'm more Mexican, I have bigger balls and all this, it was a big loss for him. So yeah, he said all of his businesses went wash after that. So he did lose all of his investments, basically, is what he kind of explained. The rest he probably just burned through, But they had a reality show. So when Fernando's talking about being broke, he's probably talking about struggling for a few years. Right. He was like, but then once we were on TV, shit, me and my brother were getting checks. Yeah. Like, come on now, seriously, I remember they had a Lamborghini. Now, granted, it might have been rented, could have been all Hollywood, but I somewhat remember in their reality TV show, they were driving like really fancy cars. I was like, all right, how do you guys get these fancy ass cars? And like I said, maybe they were all rented and it was all for show, but you can't show us that side.
Which still costs money to rent one of those things, right? We're not talking about renting the damn
$60.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not $60.
No, it's getting the discount from fucking Costco for car rentals. No, it's not that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? And if they're gonna drive it around, they're gonna have to fill it up with gas.
I have what's the little cowboy for the insurance? I got the general. I got the general for the car insurance. Does that work? Can I get the Lambo and the general?
Is that where they call it Emiliano General? So they got it like, oh, those guys hooked us up with insurance. We're gonna honor them by putting that name on Emiliano and General, the general, with the Shaq commercials. Oh boy, yeah, but that costs money too. I'm just saying.
Remember, I was mad the first time I had to get full coverage. Like, what? I don't know if I want this car. I want the general. I'm paying for the other party. That's it, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Shouldn't insurance be kind of the opposite? Like if you buy a brand new car, there's a very low likelihood that you're gonna have emissions and pollution and shit because it's a brand new car. It's like the older ones should be fucking cost a lot more money because they're the ones that have a whole bunch of pollution. Shit, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't cost much to fucking. It just seemed weird. I was like, why is it so much more expensive for brand new cars? Those are clean. Those are supposed to be clean. The hell. It's a scam, I tell you. Don't let me.
This whole thing is, bro.
Yeah, don't let me fucking go on my damn conspiracy rants up in this bitch. All right, but yes, tomorrow we have the final press conference for these guys. We'll take a look. And here's the thing: I was listening to a lot of people's predictions. Some of them wanted to hold off on their predictions until they see how they look at the final press conference, how they look at the weigh-in on Friday, and then of course come fight night. But you know, I kind of I cringe a little bit when they go back and forth. You know, from what I've seen, they're interrupting one another, right? And I don't know, maybe it's the way Ennis talks, but sometimes I can't understand what he's saying. Like the way he talks, he has this weird accent. I don't know if it's a Philly accent or not, but I mean, I'm sure we all have one. But when I hear him talk, I'm like, what the fuck is he saying? He has a weird way of saying. But
we can understand Bernard at 50.
Yeah, yeah, sure, yeah. We understand him grabbing the fucking Puerto Rican flag and throwing on the ground. We understand that, no problem at all, right? But we'll see. There's I don't know, you know, we'll see what the pay-per-view numbers are afterwards, but this is kind of their last chance to sell the fight, right? This is kind of it. You think we're gonna get something popping off, you know, like one last shove or one last something just to kind of get people interested, one last ditch effort to get as many people to buy the pay-per-view?
You know, I mean, it wouldn't hurt a shove. I'm not saying fight. Let's not, you know, throw blows here.
Headbutt.
But yeah, I mean, definitely don't want smiles and handshakes. You know, I kind of hate when the guys are doing that. Let's at least look in the moment, stare each other down, you know, represent both countries. I know Zayas is Puerto Rican, right? Yeah, because he moved here. He moved here. Exactly. Yeah. So represent Puerto Rico and yeah, this good sportsmanship, but let's look hard doing it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, I hope it's a good stare down. I hope it's a good fight, man. I want there to be a clear-cut winner. I don't need no draw. I don't need no rematch where both guys stay obscure. You know what I'm saying? Where it's not being talked about the next Monday only by diehards. I want this thing. I want one of them to reach the masses on Saturday. I'm gonna lean towards Zayas has an easier shot at doing that if he wins than Boots. And you want to know why? Match room. So,
what do you mean?
Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn don't know how to build stars, man.
I see.
He's got a heavyweight over there, but he hasn't really done shit with DAZN's platform. Their $1 billion they gave him. He hasn't done anything with it.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
You know what he did with it? Getting losing records against Mexicans. And let's hope his American fighter doesn't start one with the Puerto Ricans. Will Matchroom be 0 against Latin America on Saturday?
They're going to start a new streak of losses to the Latin Americans. So I one thing just occurred to me right as you mentioned it, rematch clause. I Googled it, and according to what what AI is telling me, that there is a two-way rematch clause, meaning a second fight can be triggered if the bout warrants it, So if there's some sort of obviously bullshit decision or something like that, I don't know who determines that, you know, like if one gets totally knocked the fuck out, if they're gonna go and exercise that route. But this is I just happened to Google it, and who the hell knows if it's accurate, because this is what AI is telling me right now. But is this common? Because I always hear when there is a rematch clause, it's usually one-sided. It's the A side who's the one that gets to decide.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, there's only one champion in this fight, correct? It's Zayas. He has 2 belts. So why would Ennis get a reshot at the champ? That don't make any sense. That's like Bob Arum wasn't even in the room if they negotiated that type of contract. You know what I'm saying? Like that's Bob Arum was there, but he wasn't there, and we need to now let Bob go to the retirement home because that don't make any sense. Your guy's the unified junior middleweight champ. If he beats the challenger, he moves the fuck on. There is no re-challenging.
Yeah. And again, according to this, it's if it warrants it. Again, I don't know who would decide that, but I have to assume it would have to be pretty blatant. Like if it's super one-sided for Duran and somehow it's a draw, like what the fuck? Then I have to assume that'll be the case. But you know, even then, the champion keeps his belt, so he moves on, right? I mean, that's kind of the way the cookie crumbles, and you had your shot and you didn't fucking take advantage of it.
I know DeBuff was trying to step in this year, being more of the face of Top Rank. If he negotiated this type of deal, he's worse than Oscar.
Oh, yeah, that's true, huh?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, because Oscar used to do shit like this, right? He'd put his
Oh,
guys in
did
some
he?
crazy the weight thing with
Oh, with
Canelo, right?
Ryan
Giving
taking
up
around.
pounds to Canelo. He did it with Ryan after telling Ryan not to. He goes and does it anyways and still gets the kid a loss. It's little shit like that where should have been maybe a little bit more firm on in the negotiating table to not give your guys such a disadvantage. To me, this is not a disadvantage for the fight, but it's a disadvantage for his career, right? So, like you said, who warrants the rematch? If it's in the contract, almost seems like it happens if the other guy demands it.
Yeah, if he just wants it for no fucking reason, like, yeah, I want the rematch. Yeah, sure.
Because if Zayas was to turn it down, what happens with the titles? Do the titles care about that, or do they go, all right, we'll just defend our belt? You know what I mean? Is this all about the promotional side of the rematch thing, or are the titles like, no, Ennis will remain the challenger and you have to fight him over again? Weird. That's a weird one.
Yeah,
that's a weird one, and hopefully you get to the bottom of that, because if that's Todd's new way of Top Rank, yeah, maybe they won't be on Top Rank that much longer.
Right. Which, I mean, it kind of goes to your point earlier. Top Rank doesn't have the connections anymore, right? To make sure that their guy comes away with the victory to further his career and get bigger money fights down the line. They don't have the kind of pull anymore, which is unfortunate. But I mean, well, I guess maybe fortunate for everybody. But yeah, that seems to be the kind of deals Todd DeBuff is doing these days. All right. Anything else we want to add to that before we move on to the next topic?
No, sir.
All right. So this is kind of a two-parter. I'm going to start with one because it's kind of a bit of we can say an update on the welterweight division here. So, as I believe the Monday show that we did, I brought up a topic of one Teofimo Lopez's manager, Keith Connolly, that he teased us with like some sort of announcement saying, "Hey, this next announcement is going to be pretty big. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to yada yada," right? And basically goes up and down about how great this next announcement is going to be. Now, Andrew, right off the bat, he said, "Well, chances are it's going to be a fucking fight announcement. That's usually what it is, right? All right, cool. Well, that definitely makes a lot of sense." I wanted to take it a step further and say, yeah, it's officially saying I'm going to move up to 147 pounds and campaign there. Well, if you believe the rumors, it looks like that both of those are true. From what I have been reading here and seeing online, there's a lot of news coming out that, and nothing confirmed, of course, this is primarily rumors, but it sounds as though Teofimo Lopez will officially be moving up to 147 pounds welterweight and challenging WBA welterweight champion Rolly Romero in his first fight at welterweight. Okay, I think I'm all right with that. When we heard after Teofimo's loss to Shakur, it was a bad loss, right? He looked really bad, and I don't remember if it was like within a couple of weeks or so, maybe even shortly after. It might have even been immediately after that fight. He talked about going up to 147 pounds, and me and my dad heard it. And we're like, "What? No, bro! Like you're kind of short, man. Like I don't know if that's gonna benefit you." So. Clearly, he's going to go up to 150 now, or 147, I mean, to welterweight, and it looks like he wasn't not really paying attention to other people's advice. I mean, not saying that he should ours, but I'm saying I want to say there were a few people around his corner in his team saying, "Yo, maybe moving up to 147 isn't the best idea," but he's going to do it. Huh?
Didn't his dad just ask him where his power was at 140?
Yeah. What did Teofimo answer? Like, "Oh, Dad, it's at 147. Okay, gotcha. Okay, let's go up there then." But maybe he doesn't need power at 147 against one Rolly Romero. Now, again, this is strictly as of right now. It's all speculation, right? It's not like it's 100% secure by any stretch of the imagination. But okay, Andrew, how does that sound? How does it sound? Moving up to welterweight, a little bit on the a little edgy. I don't know if I was okay with that, but going after Rolly Romero. Now, The second part of the story is where it gets interesting, right? But let's go ahead and start with that. What do you think when you read that?
Okay. I like the fight.
The fact that you had to preface it with like, okay.
Yeah. Well, because, I hate doing this to you guys, but I need to know who's throwing this fight. Who's guaranteeing the money here? Is this a PBC thing? Because I didn't see PBC's name attached to it. I just seen these two are talking at a bar.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I want to know who's throwing it. Because, look, I don't like the fight for Lopez at all. I think he's too small. He's not big enough in any way to go to welterweight. Not height, not reach, not power, not chin. I think Rolly knocks his ass out if he goes up there. I really do. Rolly's too big for this guy. And it seems like a desperate move for the Lopez's. I'm also wondering who's behind it, because I want to know if this is a... I remember De La Hoya saying he would work with these guys. If Rehad is
talking about,
De La Hoya with Romero and Lopez.
Gotcha.
I remember him saying he would work with both of them. I want to know who picked these guys up off the market, because I don't think this is going to have anything to do with Rehad. And it's just more evidence how boxing is starting to move on without Turkey's money or blessings, right? And these two might have found each other in that way. Like, dude, are you getting any phone calls? Nah, man, I went and talked to Zuffa. Fuck them guys. They try to lowball me. Yeah, they try to lowball me too. You want to fight? Yeah, fuck it. We'll fight. Yeah, why not? Right? And then that's how the fight got made. Boxing will move on, but I want to know how this came about. It's a good fight for us diehards. They're two good names. It's a solid name. I just think it's not going to live up to what's on paper. Rolly's too big, and he's going to hurt Lopez early in this fight. And Lopez's confidence. Lopez is very big at just crumbling in corners.
Even with his speed, like, you think that the speed isn't going to come into factor? Because not saying that Rolly is slow himself, he's not, but you don't think Teofimo's speed, I mean, maybe not the best defensive fighter, I get that, but beat him to the punch, I guess. Him land first before Rolly.
It's a matter of when Rolly lands, though. How is he going to react? See, I think Rolly's going to be able to handle the speed and the punches of Lopez, but can he handle that counter shot back, that counter left hook back, right? Or is it going to be fucking Wiggle Street, and now Rolly's on top of you and your confidence is breaking? Lopez is not strong-minded at all. Rolly's big enough to break that. I think Rolly is going to break that. I think he's too small. I got to keep leaning on that, dude. I mean, when we see both of these guys in the ring, it's probably going to look exactly that way.
That's very true, because I don't think we realize how fucking stocky Rolly is. Like,
we see him in the Garcia fight, bro.
Right. Exactly. That's I think when most of us realized it, because you see his calves and you see his legs and you see the back of his neck, and you're like, oh shit, this guy's sturdy as fuck.
Yep. So I like the fight on paper. I don't know if it's going to live up, but my bigger question is, who's putting it on? Is this Golden Boy, Matchroom, PBC, and was Turkey a part of it? Because if not, I'm telling you guys, I think we're going back to the regular days.
I have this app, Substack is called. It's kind of like Reddit, I think. It's basically people, writers, and they post stuff on there. There's where I read a lot of Dan Rayfield stuff. Substack it's called, right? And I read one, and I don't know if you're able to read it if you don't have that app, but it talks about how boxing would look without Turkey, without it, because with the recent news of his health issues, who knows how much longer we're going to have him around, at least mentally. So how is it going to look like? We already have to start planning with how things might look without him, considering Teofimo's coming off a loss. I wonder if this fight has anything to do with Turkey and his money. I mean, I don't know how much money Rolly would be demanding, but there's no way that Teofimo can demand that much coming off a loss, and that big of a high profile loss. I don't know how much he got paid for that Shakur fight, but I have to think this is the kind of fight that could be made and still these guys walk away with a nice payday without Turkey.
Oh yes, no, most definitely. they can make some money on this one. That's what I mean. I would like to know who's behind it. It's kind of weird that they announced that they're close to in talks, but didn't give us a promoter that's talking.
Yeah, no,
Who's negotiating?
Yeah, I hear you. And look at this. From what I've read, it looks like this is what Fight Hype announced.
Okay.
They're looking for a fight, or the fight date is looking like August. Now we're in late June. It's August 15th, so we're late June. That's 2 months away. Like that's pretty fucking close.
That's
I'm saying?
pretty
Like,
fast.
we
Yeah.
kind of have to already have, if not already have the answers, or these questions answered, but very damn near close. Now, Teofimo's manager, or the one that was teasing the announcement, says that by next week we'll hear something, right? So maybe next week is when we'll get the official announcement, and then off to the races we go for the 15th of August. But yeah, I would have figured something this close, we would already know this stuff. Nothing, it doesn't specify anything about the venue or what particular promoter is going to be in charge of the damn thing. But you, in your opinion, it's probably a bad move for Teofimo?
For Lopez, it seems desperate. That's why I want to know if he went over to the PBC. If this is a PBC fight or who's throwing this thing. But it does seem like a desperate move from Lopez. Just last week, there were rumors he was signing with Zuffa and things were about to be great in the bank statements for him. Now it doesn't seem that way. It seems like two odd men out are joining forces together to try to make a dime.
Yeah. I don't like that Rolly is he kind of is off somewhere floating around. He comes off a pretty big victory over Ryan Garcia, taking the belt, right, the vacant belt, and in a monumental event in Town Square, and this was May of 2025. We're already here over a year later, and his name gets brought up left on the side here, but nothing major, nothing concrete. This is the first time that I'm hearing something really legitimate and potentially actually going to play out. So I don't like that he's this out of the ring this much, especially with a belt, holding the championship belt at that particular weight class, because that means you're something. At least if nothing else, you can demand a nice payday for that belt. So this is kind of the second part of the story. And it kind of, again, it sort of ties in here because when I brought this up to you, Andrew, before we started recording, you made a really good point. And I want to, make sure that I let you give us that point. But overnight, we wake up and we have a new IBF welterweight fucking champion. If you guys remember earlier in the show, or earlier in the week with the Monday show, I did mention that the IBF welterweight champion, Lewis Crocker, is going to be defending his belt against Liam Paro in Australia. Of course, Liam Paro is Australian. That happened 2 a.m. this morning. I woke up to the news. Now, you're probably asking yourself, Miguel, did you wake up at 2 a.m. to watch this fucking fight? Fuck, no, I didn't, because I had work. But when I woke up and I saw that, I was like, what? Thankfully, I did have the DAZN app, so I popped it on, I checked it out, and it was, for at least the second half of the fight, was quite entertaining. But Liam Paro ended up coming away with the decision, unanimous decision. I believe all the cards were like really close, though, like 115, 113, and gets a victory. It looked like he was running out of gas towards the second half of the fight. He was getting marked up. He is a southpaw, so unfortunately, late in the fight, there was an accidental headbutt that caused a cut over his left eye, I believe, and it really hindered his vision. But he was doing a lot of holding. He was doing a lot of moving. It was clear that he was the better boxer, but he just looked a little undersized for welterweight. It looked like the punches of Crocker were doing damage. They were landing. They were snapping his head back, and he was landing regularly to the point where the second half of the fight, Paro was holding a lot. But ultimately, he got himself a decision victory. You guys can check it out on the DAZN app. It was actually a pretty fun fight, at least the second half of it was. But Andrew, again, you made a very, very good point before we started here. There goes Lewis Crocker giving up the belt, right? Go ahead and sound off what you told me earlier.
Well, it's just an opportunity missed by everybody in the welterweight division, going from the other champs that could have unified pretty easily, right? And to the guys that are looking to come into the division to make a loud noise. Could have been probably a champ right away.
Like Teofimo?
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but yeah, definitely like Lopez immediately. Look, I watched the highlights on this fight. Crocker was bigger than Paro, but terrible defense, no head movement, come straight forward, hands up, taking every shot off either the gloves or the chin. So Paro was throwing with like no worries in the world. Throw 2 body shots, headshot, they're all going to land. Throw 3 headshots, 1 body shot, it's all going to land. Like, it's landing. You just got to beat it out of him. And that's what he almost didn't accomplish. Crocker keeps coming. Crocker keeps coming. Crocker knows his both hands are heavy. When he hits, he hurts. That's the game plan that he has. Paro being the smaller guy, circling, outpointing him. But like you brought up the Magic Taylor Chavez, pretty good description of this fight, because that's it. The smaller guy was breaking down to the heavier-handed guy. But the bell rings. He was ahead on points. He gets to keep the title, or gets to win the title. I don't see anything for either guy. Paro, I think, is too small. His right hand jab is very soft. He's all left-handed. And then for Crocker, bro, dude, they would have smoked him. You go up against some of our American fucking strikers, legit hitters with combinations, with no head movement, walking straight forward. That's going to be 3 body shots and a left hook upstairs, and it's good night. That's it. That was easy work. Very sad that our welterweight division is being very greedy right now. Everyone's waiting for the daddy Turkey to bless them with the $16 million payday. They seen Conor Benn's money, and they all got greedy. They seen that New York money, and they all got greedy. You understand? Yeah, there's fights to be made. Their careers are being held up. Devin Haney acts like he's going to be fucking young forever. You know, him and his dad are becoming more celebrities on the internet than they are in the ring. Ryan Garcia thinks his looks are going to be there forever. You know, like, you guys are passing up major fights that couldn't be getting made. Go to Las Vegas. The casinos will probably give you a legit dime, guaranteed money. It won't be Turkey $16 million for each guy. Right? I mean, the money they're making, and you seen they just signed that heavyweight. You were talking about it, I think, on Sunday, about some heavyweight they were going after in the UK.
Yeah.
So I seen it. It looks like it's happening. Did you see what Eddie told him?
Yeah,
he said, run, crawl, do whatever you have to do.
Before they change their mind. Yeah.
He said, crawl.
He said, I'll push you. Shit. You need to ride there? I'll drive you, homie.
Yeah, he said it. He said at that price, it's worthless to put on a fight. That's fucked up. I don't even know the guy. I don't know what's going on. I've never even seen that. Yeah, it's hella weird that story even hit. I feel like maybe it's something that dude wanted to see if he went viral, and he did. And now he's at home like, fuck, there's no contract on the table. I was just playing a joke and it went viral. But who knows, man? Where was I going with that? Oh, they have fights to be made. Sure. They can go to Vegas. Vegas looks interested again in boxing. Some of these unification match, I think, would get $8 million, maybe a $15 million for both. That's the purse, but we're buying it all. We want the ticket sales. We want the stands. We want everything, but we'll give you guys a guaranteed purse, right? Something like that. Yeah, no, it's holding up the sport right now. It really is. At least the welterweight division is really being held up with everyone waiting for Turkey's blessing.
I'll take it a step further here. You mentioned a missed opportunity from other, which is the point that I was referring to that you made, with other champions possibly unifying. A missed opportunity for Crocker himself to be like, yo, get paid big bucks, hand over the belts. I mentioned this because it looks like it was Liam Paro, or it was what's his name, Tim Zoo's No Limit Boxing, right? They got the purse bid for this. It was $1.1 million. Roughly, it's going to be 748 to the champ, and then it says 403 to the challenger. $748,000 is a nice fucking payday. And No Limit is an Australian brand, right? Australian, and they basically won the purse bid to ensure that the fight takes place in Australia because their guy is Australian, right? So it's like, all right, that's kind of shows the importance with the purse bids here. But could Lewis Crocker have made more money than the 748 by dropping it to somebody else, like fucking Ryan or like somebody else? But he ends up doing it to, now, mind you, that's a great fucking payday, right, for us regular folks. I'm not saying it's not, but did he kind of sell himself short? Did he miss on the opportunity on possibly giving up the belt to a much bigger name and a much bigger payday?
Absolutely did. Now, isn't Crocker a matchroom guy?
I think you're right. Oh, yes, because this dude's the No Limit guys beat Matchroom in the purse bid by a few. Go ahead.
Didn't I just say Eddie Hearn does not know how to?
You did. Fuck, that,
man. Yes. This fucking guy. I swear to God, you lose $1 million payday. You lose your champ basically because he went to Australia.
Wow. Yes, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Because I mean, for a second, when I read the results, I was like, "Oh, it's a home cooked decision. Damn it to hell!" And then I watched it, and I'm like, "Oh, he did what he needed to do, and he appointed him, right? And he was able to stay on the feet, but he was losing those latter rounds. Yeah.
But he still had to travel, and he was the champ.
Yeah. To defend the belt, yeah.
And then it wasn't even that much money. Oh, I'm kind of mad if I'm Crocker right now. Because one, you're absolutely right. Like, why wasn't Eddie Hearn on the phone with Rolly Romero, trying to unify this title? Dude, that would have been an excellent fight because both guys are heavy-handed. They're going to knock the shit out of each other. You could have took that fight to the UK and probably done 40,000, 30,000. It looks like they show up for everything over there. Button it up with something huge in the UK, and you're making serious money on this fight card. I got no faith in Eddie Hearn sometimes, man. Very blessed to be his dad's son. Yeah, that's a loss for Crocker, but that's not his fault. That's his promotional company's fault for allowing him to making him go to another continent to lose his title when he was the fucking champ. Seriously.
Yeah, precisely. Because that fight with Rolly would definitely be pretty badass. Like, it might not be the most technical fight, but you best believe that people will tune in to watch those guys throw down. And
especially in the UK. Especially in the UK. Mm-hmm. That's a legit unified title in their backyard,
Mm-hmm. And
terrible. That's terrible promoting.
And this puts Paro in a pretty good position because now he's the one with the belts, and now he can go and be like, all right, here you go. And if we remember, Leon Paro goes to Puerto Rico, I think it is, and beats Matias, takes his belt, and literally in this very next fight loses that belt to Richardson Hitchens.
I'm going to tell you what. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, he's going to do the same thing here. He's going to win this belt, and he's going to go off and cash it in against one of the other dudes, really Crocker should have done.
Yeah, if Zoo loses to Spence, he should just stick to promoting because he looks like he's doing a better job than Eddie Hearn right now. I mean, his guy is now a 2-time champ, right?
Yeah.
He won that belt for not a lot of money. They're going to turn a penny on that title. They won it for basically $1 million. Mm-hmm. You said $1.5 million. Was that the bid?
Yeah, it was like 1.1 something.
Oh no, that's $1 million. All right.
Yeah, only bucks.
So $1 million, man. And then you're right. They're going to turn around and probably flip it now. They did it once. No, I don't understand that decision making at all. He must have had no faith in Crocker.
Right. I mean, and that's the thing. If you don't have a faith in the dude, then throw him into the deep end ASAP and get the fuck cash him out. You flip him basically.
What I'm a little nervous on that one though, Miguel, is it's the A side fighters that don't want to fight. I know the title's cool, but you got to remember these guys think they're one fucking phone call, one direct message, one Instagram message away from Turkey going, I got to fight for you. And then it's like, oh shit, now how much do I get? Right? I really think your Ryan Garcias, especially your Devin Haney's. I mean, this is all these guys talk about is money, right? Mm-hmm. His dad has become, that's all he's become is what percentage he gave who. And after they get a fight, oh, remember when I was going to give you this? Yeah, we never lowball people. Like, bro, get back in the ring. How about that one? You know, get us a fight already where it's actually means something. Devin Haney's going to prove something. Brian Norman was cool. It proved Devin Haney still belongs, but that's not legacy shit. Ain't no one talking about Brian Norman 20 years from now. So let's get the rematch with Garcia. That's what are we 2 years overdue? Is it going on 2 years?
Yes, April 2024. I want to say.
Come on, bro. Like, this is ridiculous. They were
Because
both in their prime.
He ends up doing the suspension because of the positive drug test. Ryan.
Yep.
So yeah, we're going on 2 years now, or actually just past 2 years, I should say. Damn. So yeah, missed opportunity there, no doubt. And it was when I woke up this morning and saw that, and I was like, oh shit. And I remember mentioning it like on the last show, like, yeah, this is kind of going under the radar, you know, but it's kind of important because it is in the welterweight division. And then this kind of, you know, happens, and it kind of throws things for a little bit of a loop. And then we hear the news of Teofimo moving up to 147, fighting Rolly, or at least that's what it looks like it's going to happen. But yeah, welterweight shakeup this morning, huh?
Jeez. Yes.
All right. Anything else you want to add to that before we call it before we move on to the next one?
No, sir.
All righty. Let's see here. Where I'm at. Here he goes. All right. This one is a little bit of a strange one. We've been talking about Gervonta Davis for a few
breaking news.
Oh shit.
Mexico just scored, bro.
Oh, nice. Oh, yes. That's right. They're on right now. I don't have it on. I just finished watching the Brazil and Switzerland fight. I think it was. Map fight game. But oh hell yeah. So what? One zip. That's that we're at.
One zip. Yeah. Yeah. It must be. She only came the first time she came in. So I'm guessing they just scored right now.
I can hear my pops yelling in the kitchen. In the living room. So I don't know. I mean, mind you, he yells at everything.
It was a delay.
Yeah. I don't know if it's him celebrating or him being like, man, what the fuck? You should have done that, because he does that. He talks to the TV pretty loud to where, like, you know, mom's like, lower down. But anyway, all right, cool, Mexico. Oh, you know what? Speaking of which, did you see? And this is just off the topic, but did you see the NBA draft? How they drafted the first Mexican-born, or it's the first. He made history by being the first Mexican-born player to be drafted in the first round.
No.
Yeah. So I went to the gym yesterday, right? And because at the gym that I have, it's a really small gym that I go to. It's a small one, and they have a few TVs up there. They have the World Cup playing on one, so of course I was watching it. And on the other one, they were airing. I don't know if they were airing highlights or the actual NBA draft, but this guy who last name is Lopez, but his first name is Kareem. I guess you can imagine his folks wanted him to be a fucking basketball player, but naming him Kareem, right? But Kareem Lopez, 19 years old, from Sonora, Mexico, something like that. That's where he was born. The first Mexican-born NBA or player, I guess, to be drafted in the first round specifically.
Nice.
I think overall, he was number 21, something like that. But I was like, what the hell? And dude is huge. I'm like, yo. He's a mailman's kid, because there's no fucking way he's a Mexican dude, right? It's like I think he's a mailman's kid. I don't know, but I saw that and I was like, oh shit! Since when the fucking Mexico produce basketball players to make it to the NBA? But anyway, I figured I'd throw that in there because we're talking about Mexico. I was like, damn, that's trippy. I had no idea. Yeah, Kareem Lopez, congratulations, young man. Got yourself quite the career ahead of you.
Very nice.
But yes, Gervonta Tank Davis. This is kind of funny. Andrew sent me this funny AI generated reel, which I think it was Floyd Schofield who did it, and basically it's Gervonta, and he's like shirtless, and he's packing his duffel bag, right, and he's got this girl next to him, and his girlfriend's like Tank, what's going on, right, and he's like packing up stuff, like, you're such in a rush, what's happening, and Tank turns to him and goes, Kid Austin is coming. So then she grabs the WBA belts, and it's like, what do we do with this? And it's like, leave it. And then they just bolt out the house. It's all funny if you guys look it up online, right? But we've been kind of chronicling the WBA's decision to either strip Gervonta of his lightweight championship or force him to fight Kid Austin, Floyd Schofield. Floyd Schofield went to his Twitter account, or X, and proceeds to say the following. He says, I believe Tank is asking for too much money, more than what Premier Boxing Champions, or BBC, can afford, I believe. Now they're trying to get out of the fight by saying legal issues. This is all smoke and mirrors. PBC is trying the same nonsense. Tank does not want to fight a mandatory that can beat him. 4 days left. Then it goes to purse bid. If Tank does not want the fight, it's time for the WBA to strip Tank and give Kid Austin the full world title. Tank is scared to fight me in the ring. So we start off with that. We clown the WBA regularly about all the championship belts they have. They even went. I've been reading this lately that they're talking about reducing the number of champions they have per weight class. Enough of this recess bullshit.
And they cut out the Bridgewater division.
Bridgerweight. Yes, not Bridgewater, but close enough. I thought you were trying to dig at them. But anyway, yes, they did remove it. I mean, what was it? Did they even have a champ? Did they just like bring the division? Is who the hell knows if there ever was a champ? But he's not there anymore.
What was it for?
It was, as I understand it, I mean, a bridge, I guess. Two people that are too big for cruiserweight, but too small for heavyweights. Considering, we had the giants like AJ and Fury, but it was supposed to be a middle in between. Essentially, I mean, that's what most weight classes are in between. But the WBC did the same thing. I think they actually have that as well. I think theirs is still going on though. So I'm assuming that they still have a champion there. But anyway, WBA. In an attempt to do this. All right, this is the next step here. We talked about it a while back. This was, I want to say, before the rematch with Gervonta and Roach fell through. He should have been stripped. But if you're Florida Schofield, do you want to get the belt this way? Like, I'm gonna fight the man, and then they end up like stripping him. Oh shit, what's going on? Oh, it's 2. Oh, nice. Yeah. So
looks like they're going to the next round.
All right. Hell yeah. I'm down with that. I'm about to flip it on the TV on right here. I was watching before.
2-0, bro.
All right. Live. You heard it. Breaking news. 2-0. So let me go ahead and pose the question to you, Andrew. Is it time that the WBA strips Gervonta of the belt here at this point?
Well, I mean, I think this is his last shot. It looks like news of a fight is coming down the pipeline. We have a trainer. We've had multiple opponents being named, right? Things are being thrown around. I think Davis is coming back. It's weird we never got a conclusion to his jumping on an airplane and taking off. Whatever happened to that? You know what I mean? All of a sudden, he's training with Robert Benavidez Sr. What's his name? Not Robert Benavidez. Jose, excuse me. Jose Benavidez.
But don't spill it yet. That was the next part of this.
That's my father-in-law's name.
What?
Robert Benavidez. Yeah. He trains with Jose Benavidez Sr.
Yeah. They're extended family.
Yeah. So I think he's coming back. Is it going to be Schofield? Bro, it might be. Barrios, I don't think was wanted. Pitbull Cruz, Roach. There's been a few opponents in Davis's career that the fights turned out good. Not knocking the fights, but no one really seen those fights going in, right? We wanted him against the Lomas, the Haneys, the Garcias, the big four that he told us he was going to fight.
The most recent batch of 35ers that he never got around to fighting.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're on to Shakur and Keyshawn, and you got a whole new batch of guys he's still not fighting, and here we are talking about Schofield, who is undefeated. Yeah, he's undefeated. It might be a good match when they get in the ring, but going in, is that the one we wanted? No, that's been Davis's whole career.
Yeah, very good point. Maybe it will be Schofield. Well, according to the information that I see here online by one Abraham Gonzalez on Twitter, sources have told Fight ATW, which I'm not sure what that means. That's the name of specifically the name of the Twitter account, that Jose Benavidez Sr. will be training Gervonta Tank Davis for his upcoming fight in the fall. Okay, this comes after weeks of working together to see if they were the right fit. All right, and this was like a few days ago. So, I don't know how they would be the right fit, quite frankly. I mean, rarely is it like this, and not to make it a racial thing, but rarely are there, like black fighters like, yeah, I'm gonna go out get this Latino Mexican trainer. Usually they stick to their own kind, they go to the Derek Jameses of the world and whomever else, right? And that's usually the way it goes. So this kind of seems a little out of character. Kind of cool. I'm not gonna say it's not. It's pretty cool because now Jose's got another guy on him, right? And I guess to some degree it makes sense because Jose's son is PBC too, so he's kind of a PBC guy. So maybe they're kind of like on that same track and they're cool. But I wouldn't have thought that these two guys would mesh enough. According to what this is saying, they've been working together already for a few weeks to see if they're a fit. If they're already planning the fight for fall, it's because they, at least in their own eyes, see it as being fit. Wow, this is a strange one. I'm a little thrown off by it, but whether or not the fall fight is going to be Schofield has yet to be decided. Hopefully that is the case and we can get it. But if not, of course, he lets go the belt and goes on to bigger and better things. But did this surprise you at all, Andrew, when you noticed or when you read this? Because mind you, Diego Pacheco left Benavidez Sr. to go somebody else. I forgot who exactly, but he left. He is no longer Pacheco there. Now we got fucking Tank here. Is that kind of weird?
Definitely weird. Look, both of these men are American first. So while Jose has a brown skin, a lot of his habits are American. So I'm sure they connect on a lot of bases, right? Growing up, same music, same culture, right? Same movies. I don't think it's hard for them to connect. It's not like he's hooking up with Reynoso here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What I find weird is that their styles don't match. See, when you say that the blacks usually stick with the black Americans usually stay with the black American trainers, that's because their styles match. Right? They look up to fighters that are more on that side of the boxing side of America, and Mexicans tend to be more flat-footed, coming in, more about power, right?
Yeah.
So their styles don't match. Like when I look at Benavidez, I don't see Gervonta Davis. So why would Davis want to learn that? Or is he going to learn? Or is he just going to be confused when he gets in the ring? Right? Yeah. Not knowing what to do because he hasn't practiced what Calvin usually taught him. And now all he's trying, maybe he does a lot more of this. Benavidez always likes doing that little shoe shine shit. Maybe Davis does more of that. Like Benavidez uses height, reach, speed. Davis is smaller than almost every opponent he's in. He uses counter shots, right? They're not the same. I don't know if Jose has ever trained someone a counter puncher. None of his guys seem like it. Even when you say Pacheco, I'm like thinking real fast on Pacheco. I don't remember him being a Gervonta setup kind of guy.
Or even Jose Jr. for that matter. I don't see him like that either.
Yeah, exactly. The brother. Yes, sir. So I don't like it for that reason. Now, if Benavidez was more of an American boxer, then I say that's fine. Friggin' Jose probably watched the same tapes on Sugar Ray Leonard and all the great American fighters, right? So that's why I don't like it. It has nothing to do with him, being with Benavidez now. It's their styles on match. To me, it's going to be maybe the start of the downfall for Davis. He's almost lost the fight already. Probably should have lost his last one big time.
Yeah.
Now you're going with a whole new trainer. Doesn't that just seem like the storyline we've seen before where they look confused? They were kind of lost their way at that moment in their career. That's he's walking in where is he at? Arizona? Where the Benavidez
I think from Arizona, from Phoenix.
Yeah, there you go. See, Davis is gonna have to fly there, all his tattoos and shit. It's gonna be like Joe Pesci and My Cousin Vinny when he gets out of the car.
Yeah. When he gets out, it's like the two youths, the two what? The youths. what's a Ute? Like, I'm
with
sorry, man.
his designer jewelry clothes on.
Yeah,
Fucking his what they used to call bedazzled. What are the little girls used to do? My daughter used to do. His jeans always look like that.
yeah.
Fucking Davis.
Bling it up. That's gonna go. It's gonna blend real well in fucking Phoenix, right? Yeah,
Wearing a.
sure.
Hopefully, you don't have one of his man purses on. That's not gonna go well.
Right. With all these, the bling in his ears and shit. I mean, I guess that's what
Hey,
it
how's
makes
he run? How does he run?
Yeah.
Davis is a fool, man. Sometimes I don't know, bro. Yeah, I don't know. I think he just likes playing us, but he's a character, that kid.
Yeah, that definitely it makes it strange that style. Uh, Benavidez Sr. has the come forward kind of guys. He isn't like that. But I guess we'll see. And here's the thing: like when you talked about the confusion, he's already in his 30s. What's his name? Tank. So it's like he's kind of set in his ways to some degree in his boxing. Like, how are you? It's going to be quite the task to change that, if that's even the point of the connection here. Maybe it isn't at all, and we're just thinking they're trying to do that. But why else would he go him specifically? With somebody who is so good at a certain style that is completely opposite of Tank's. I can't imagine that he's going to just do a. I mean, it has happened. I think even Barrera, was kind of sort of a brawler at first, and then eventually became like a much better boxer. But he's in his 30s at this point. How much more? I mean, what are the chances of him being able to switch that style and maybe be more of a come forward guy like the David?
And even though Barrera was a brawler, Barrera had very good fundamentals as a brawler. His hands were still up. He used to throw combinations, body shots. Davis is hands down. He's not. His fundamentals aren't that good. He's more naturally gifted. Goes off counters, speed, stuff like that. So it's going to be very hard for him to transition, is what I'm saying, into this new boxer. Going to just take up a whole new style when your style was naturally gifted. I will also say, twice we have seen videos of Calvin teaching Gervonta the knockout punch. I believe he does it with Roach and he does it with Ryan. The Roach fight, they're practicing the uppercut before he actually drops. Oh, not Roach. Who was a young man before him? He fought some obscure guy right before
Frank Martin.
There you go. The two-name guy always getting wrong. Frank Martin. There it is. Him. He's practicing that uppercut. They show the clip. They're like in the dressing room practicing this shit, and then they show it in the ring. Same punch lands, same combo lands, drops them. Then in the Ryan, that one was beautiful. That Ryan one. They have like 3 clips of him just like doing Ryan's shot with his hand down here, and Davis is going over the top, and fuck, it's a thing of beauty. So, have we ever seen that with David Benavidez?
No. No. Do we see David Benavidez give up the early rounds the way Tank usually does? How the fuck is that guy? He's gonna go back to his corner and be like, dude, what the hell were we training? You don't give up rounds, homie. That's not how we roll here.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be some hard learning for Tank leaving Calvin this late in his career. I think Calvin's probably sort of laughing. Maybe he feels bad because he said he treated Davis like a son, but probably not going to end well with Benavidez.
Yeah, and I certainly hope it doesn't become a Ryan Garcia type of thing, jumping from one trainer to another, because that, I think, it's just going to make things even worse. But hopefully,
East Coast is hurting though. If he had to come all the way to Benavidez Sr, dude.
That's what you mean. Yeah.
Bomac left. I know he's not East Coast, but he's not West Coast either. So he's over there. He didn't go Bomac. He's retired. Manuel Stewart obviously is gone. Teddy Atlas, don't see him really making noise anymore. Like, who do we have over on that side that is making big noise,
On that side, nobody. But, I mean, just throw this out there as complete opposite coast. But Freddie Roach had a powerful southpaw, and Manny has similar style. You would think that'd be blending a little bit better with
a good one.
The Tank's style.
Yeah. And then if he just added the right hook the way that Manny added it, right? Yeah. If he could find a little niche that Davis is missing on there, But Davis does throw crisp punches. I like that though. That's a good matchup. It has to be health reasons. Freddie, man, we're talking 20 years he's been battling this disease. He's been battling it on camera too. It has to come down to that, I believe. At some point at some point he's using boxing to live now. It's not about getting in the ring and chasing this dream anymore. It's just about him keeping his fundamentals good, or his mind right, his mind strong.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had brought up Diego Pacheco earlier. After pulling him up, I saw that actually he went with Buddy McGirt, which
there's a name. Okay.
Yeah, there's a name, right? I mean, Buddy, he's there, right? And we can go. I mean, this it doesn't seem too strange. I do see a lot of Latinos go to black trainers. I mean, most famously, I want to say maybe even Oscar De La Hoya going to Floyd Sr., right? So
Chavez even did Stewart. Remember that?
That's
he
true.
did
Yes.
Emmanuel Stewart with the little quick minute. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not exactly unheard of, right? It seems to be more common than something like the other way around. But I remember it was a black trainer. I just don't remember who it was. And when I pulled it up, I saw it was Buddy McGirt. I was like, oh, I have an old ass picture with Buddy actually from like 2012.
I wonder what happened to Buddy, because he was getting hot for a minute. Something happened on one of his fights. I'm forgetting what it was. I'll remember it. But Buddy was getting hot for a quick minute with the pro fighters. And then one of his fights, did he stop it? He might have stopped it. And it was how he threw his fighter under the bus, I think. If I don't remember. Yeah.
Really? Because I remember him, he was with Tarver, I think, right? I want to say. And then with Arturo Gatti a little bit. Those are the ones that come to mind right now. But I'm almost certain, yes, he did stop it. I don't remember him throwing his fighter in the bus, though. I remember him stopping the fight. I don't know if it was.
He wasn't listening to me or something like that. No, I'm not going to let him get beat up if he's not listening to me. Shit like that. Yeah, I know, keeping it real, but other fighters would be like, yeah, you're not doing that to me.
Shit. They just put a big old target. It's like, no, I ain't fucking stepping around this guy. And it's funny. My dad always says that shit too. My dad tells me that all the time. It's like, where is the fire from some of these trainers? Sometimes they're like, yo, you go out there and don't throw, motherfucker. What do we come here for? Are we gonna throw or not? Are we not gonna throw? I'm stopping the fight. Let's just go and we'll collect the paycheck and call it a day. But like that sort of fire that guys like Teddy Atlas tend to bring out of people.
What did Roy Jones call this fighter a bitch the other day? Did you see that?
No, I didn't see.
Oh, you didn't see? You don't remember? Yeah. Roy Jones just did that this year, dude. He was like, if you're gonna fight like this, don't come to the gym because you act like a bitch or something like that. And then the dude ended up winning, and then he had to come out and say how Roy motivated him and all. Like, no, he didn't. No, he did not.
That's some motivation, Roy.
Yeah, you're acting like a bitch.
Yeah. Like, so Roy, what did you tell him? Oh, I told him his mom's a bitch. I told him that really lit a fire on him. He went out that next round and got the job done. Like, oh,
isn't that is Roy Jones though? Huh? Just do it naturally, bro. Come on, stop acting like a bitch, huh?
Yeah,
I used to throw like 5 left hooks in a row. Can you do that? Shit.
Yeah, out of the hand movement, like, you feel me? You feel me? Yeah. 3 hands, 3 left hooks back to back. You can do it. I always try to mimic that too because I have a southpaw stance, but I'm naturally right-handed, so I can actually like through like I can do a couple of hooks back to back with my lead. I love doing that shit just specifically because of Roy. All right. Anything else we want to add to this Tank story before we move on to the next one?
Nope.
All right. So this one is kind of a boxing, but kind of sort of not. And I want to throw this in here because it's a trend that I'm beginning to see here. We talked about Eddie Hearn earlier, right? It looks as though, if I can get all of my screenshots up here, it looks as though we're gonna get Eddie Hearn and his Matchroom talent agency has signed yet another UFC fighter in Ian Machado Gary. Now, you might not have heard of this guy before, and that's totally fine. He only has 1 defeat on his record. He's a pretty solid fighter. He was coming up, got derailed, unfortunately, with that 1 loss, but has since then bounced back by derailing the hype train of somebody else and even beating a former champion in that weight class. And he's on the verge of the biggest fight in his career, fighting Islam Makhachev coming up in August for the UFC Welterweight Championship. So he's right on the verge of becoming, possibly a star. So what does he do? He goes out and signs with Matchroom's, Matchroom Boxing. I guess I just call it Matchroom Talent Agency and Eddie Hearn. Now, Ian has come out on recent interviews, right? Because this news just broke a few days ago. So he's already saying this has nothing to do with the UFC. This is strictly outside of it, basically a way for Eddie and Matchroom Talent Agency to try to make me the biggest star they can, to have as many eyeballs on me. So, of course, he can go into the UFC and cash out. That's what he's trying to do. But hearing from what we've heard already from Eddie Hearn, talking about the contracts that he's seen with his first client, or his first MMA client, I guess, in Tom Aspinall, the UFC heavyweight champ, I can't imagine that there would be none. There's no connection. I can imagine Eddie Hearn being like, "Yo, let me see that fucking contract." It has to, right? There's no fucking way. I can't imagine that they would remain separate. But he is. What is it? I think is he Irish? Is he Ireland? I forget where Ian is from. I'll pull it up here momentarily because I forget where his ethnicities or his nationality is from. But okay, another UFC fighter, Andrew, signing with Matchroom. It looks like the trend is keeps rolling, huh?
Yeah, these two got to come to an end at some point. It hasn't helped Tom Aspinall at all yet.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it seemed like some of the guys were talking bad about him on the last UFC show, as if they didn't want to see him fighting the new heavyweight contender, whoever it was, that guy that beat Pereira. And maybe they already fought before.
But they did. And unfortunately, it was eye poke.
It was that fight.
Yeah, it was that fight, and he has yet to come back from that.
All right. So yeah, it was almost like they were taking his credit away. So I don't even know if he's going to fight in the UFC anymore. So we'll see how this turns out. Look, with Turkey being ill, that's funny too. Someone at my gym was telling me they thought they were all, Turkey was just playing. He just doesn't want to pay these guys the money no more. So he's going to start telling them, I know it's fucked up, but yeah, that's fucked up. That probably wasn't a good. I didn't mean that was a joke either. It was like he was kind of being shit. He did a deal he didn't want to live up to, basically. You know what I mean?
He's literally calling in sick. It's like, so we got $50 million. Like, yeah, I can't make it in here. It's just I partied with the prince and I can't.
But I hope he gets well soon if he is sick. Where was I going with that?
Whether or not Eddie can do anything about it or anything.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna have to come to an end with this. At some point, your life
they're gonna come to an end.
Their whole fucking I signed your guy. Then Zuffa ran and signed the Matchroom second fighter. Now they and we didn't have no clue who this dude is, but they still signed him. It's still Dana running around going, I signed your guy. Come on, like. At some point, Turkey's going to be like, my health is above all of you guys. You guys sound like two fucking girls right now, right? Like, are we in this to make money, or are we going to do this for the next 5 years of you two just basically getting, I don't know, were they getting their little giggles on because they see their names so many times on the internet? I haven't seen Dana White as much as I do nowadays. You know what I'm saying? He's all over boxing. Is that, is his head getting bigger? Now he's not just in the UFCs and boxing now too. We always been told he always wanted to do boxing. This what got him into combat sports. So is his head getting bigger just seeing his name against Eddie all the time? I think Turkey's going to get tired of it soon. I'm over these types of things. You want to talk fucking fights and who beats who and Conor Benn versus Garcia on the zone? Yeah, let's talk that all day. Let's get them both on the podium. They can call each other assholes all day. As long as we're getting the fight we want. The guys that they're signing right now, I give two fucks about. You guys are just making noise. You're not doing anything. So, and with Turkey being ill, the clock is ticking. I'm with Turkey on. They need to step in the room and see: are we going to be men and make business here, or are we going to continue with the childish back and forth games that we're playing on each other right now? and I don't even know who's winning because I don't know if Eddie Hearn's winning anything off signing UFC guys. He's not an MMA promoter.
Right.
It seems like 2 other companies coming into the MMA world now. So Eddie would be the 4th company coming in. Even if you were trying to go down that route, I mean that's not going to work. So I'm over it. I want Turkey to sit them down and control both of their children already. Both of their sons need to get put in line.
Like put one on each lap and be like, okay, now let's talk about this, guys.
Really show your power. Make them hug it out.
Oh, yeah, make them and like not no like like side hug, but like chest to chest and hold it for like 7 seconds. Yeah,
I want you guys and then hold hands as you exit. Tradition of Saudi Arabia.
And then as you hold it, be like, I love you. I'm only doing this because I love you. Like the way my brothers fight, right? I've seen this brought up to Dana White himself. It wasn't this specifically him signing in Machado Gary, but it was Anthony Joshua signing with some other agency or something like that. Like I'm
yes,
that, right? And he was like you tell Eddie, motherfucker, like he's his homie and he's over here signing with somebody else. And of course, Eddie responds to that is like, yeah, bro, it's called the Ali Act. It's a conflict of interest. He can't sign with me, jackass. That whole thing that you're trying to fucking kill. Yeah, bro, that's how it works. I don't know, maybe you think
that he's clueless.
Yeah, he was clueless as fuck, right? It's like this son of a bitch swears. So he's trying to throw shots, right? But it's like everybody throwing jabs at one another. I don't know, and this it seems. And again, he's signing them, Eddie, to these talent agencies. What does that mean? It's like, all right, let's go ahead and take pictures so you can sell 8x10s with your autographs. Like, what the fuck? The UFC does this anyway. I don't get what exactly he's doing that's any different than what the UFC's well-oiled machine is already doing. But and then with Zuffa signing this fucking no-name boxer, I'm sorry, I forget his name, or the English dude, but like, to the point where Eddie himself was like, bro, yes, go fucking sign, take that fucking money. How in the world is this? Like at this point, are we really keeping score of who's getting one over the other? At this point, I don't see the point of it unless it's, oh yeah, this guy, like let's just say that what's his name? Eddie signs a guy, and Eddie's his manager representing him. And then they go to the UFC and it's like, all right, cool. Now we're gonna have to work out this contract. And it's like, oh shit, now it's something different. But this talent agency just seems kind of weird. I don't know, but
right.
Yeah, when I see stuff like this, I'm like, oh gosh, guys. But it struck me as strange. According to what Eddie said, Eddie himself reached out to Ian Machado Gary and said, like, yo, because he said initially that there was a lot of UFC fighters that approached him. But when in regards to this, he says, no, I hit him up. And at first, it was like, I forgot how he came together. He's like, oh, no, come to think of it, I hit him up. I don't know what exactly this means or what precisely they're going to do differently. But we're going to see, because like I said, in about a month, or actually 2 months, or a month and a half, Ian Machado Gary is going to be in for the fight of his fucking life, fighting against Islam Makhachev for the welterweight championship of the UFC. So I don't know if he's going to win that fight, but I can see maybe trying to cash in as much as he possibly can with his 15 minutes outside of the UFC, so people will tune in to watch it, which kind of, does that make sense? I don't get it. If they're going to make this dude a star and he fights in the UFC, doesn't that kind of the UFC win at the end? Because now you just made him a star for us, and you're coming on our fucking card, and now people are going to tune in to watch us. Like, how is this? Maybe it helps the fighter in the long run outside of it, but in the weird way, they're helping the UFC like this.
I wouldn't even. I think we started off saying he did it just to see those contracts, and I'm going to stick with that. He just wanted an end to see how good the UFC really had it, and he was like blown away how good the UFC really had it. He was like, what is those rumors? 10 for 10? What do you mean? 100 grand? No, 10 grand, dude. What the fuck?
Like, are you sure you didn't see 10? Like, no, it's on the text message right here. It's 10 grand. Like, okay.
And if you lose half. No,
yeah, exactly. And it's like, and if you win, your bonus is a free granite the counter for your kitchen. Oh, fuck, all right. I guess that counts, like my fucking money. It's like, all right, cool. I get free brakes changes at all my nearest Pebbles.
Oh my god!
It's the fight bonus.
Just the fight bonus.
That's the UFC for you.
Hey, you know what's funny? Sometimes when I watch the show over, I laugh at the same parts that I laugh after. It's hella weird, bro. I don't know if I know it's coming or what, but I laugh like at the same time. It's so stupid. I don't know. That happens.
Yeah, that does not happen. Whenever we make a good point, I like to fast forward to that part. I recently was outed by my boss. They're like, "Hey guys, do you guys know that Miguel has a YouTube channel?" It's like, "Oh guys, I don't think you guys want to hear this shit that we talk about." number one, our show's like 2 hours, but on top of that, I dropped some pretty big f bombs on there, which is definitely not. It's like, what did he say about this guy? Like, yeah, Miguel, we're gonna have to let you know about about that raise we're gonna give you. Maybe not so much anymore. But that was the last topic that I had here. The majority of the show, of course, I want to talk about is this weekend's fight that we're going to be tuning into. So definitely looking forward to that. Andrew, before we call it a show, any more breaking news on your end that you wanna add to it? Did Mexico? Oh, does USA play tomorrow?
Yes, they do. Turkey.
Oh yeah, not that turkey, the actual country turkey.
Yes. Yeah, no, I didn't see anything. I actually already went and looked at the at my feed, and I didn't see anything.
Okay, fantastic, cool. Well, then that is going to do it for us here tonight on this Wednesday night. We will be back as we usually are Sunday, and we might even do a morning show. Hell, depending on how the fight goes, we might even do Saturday. We don't even know yet, but we will have a weekend show for you guys, and we're going to be talking in great detail about any new stuff that comes up, and in particular how that Zayas and Boots fight turns out. So that is going to call it. I'm going to call it a show here. That's going to do it for us. For my co-host Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapiche. I am Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, and this has been the Mad Boxing Show. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you guys on Sunday. Take care. Peace.